Dear student, it is our sixth class of chapter fraction. In this chapter, we have come to the topic of operation on fraction. In that, we did addition, we did discussion of subtraction. Now, today we are going to start the discussion about the multiplication in our part 6 of this chapter. So, now let us start what to discuss about the chapter. About multiplication of fraction. Children, in multiplication of fraction, we have two cases. Case number 1, we have to multiply a fraction by a whole number. Case number 2, we have to multiply a fraction by a fraction. So two cases are here in this chapter. In the multiplication of fraction, we have to firstly multiply a fraction by a whole number. Another topic is multiplication of a fraction by a fraction. In that, firstly we will start the discussion about fraction multiplied by a whole number. सबसे पहले बच्चों हम लोग बात करेंगे कि how we can multiply a fraction by a whole number. In that, we are taking an example. In the example, we have a fraction 2 by 5 and this 4. Here you can see this is a fraction and this is a whole number. So we have to multiply a fraction by a whole number. How we can do this? You can see here no denominator is here. So if any fraction doesn't have any denominator, then its denominator will be 1. In the multiplication, numerator multiply by numerator and denominator multiply by denominator. So it will become 2 multiplied by 4 and 5 multiplied by 1. 2 4s are 8, 5 1s are 5. So you got 8 by 5. Since it is an improper fraction because its numerator is bigger and denominator is smaller, so firstly we have to divide 8 by 5. 5 1s are 5, 3. So you got here 1 whole 3 upon 5, which is the required answer. So in this chapter we discussed how we can multiply a fraction. We can multiply a fraction by a whole number, and we did it. We clarified it here for you. Another example in this kind will be 2 whole 1 upon 3, which has to be multiplied by 5. How we can do this? Firstly, we have to convert this mixed fraction into improper. 3 2 just 6 and 1 7, 7 upon 3 it will be, and 5 upon 1. So numerator multiply by numerator and denominator multiply by denominator. 7 5 ja 35, 3 1 ja 3. So 35 has to be divided by 3. 3 1 ja 3, finished. 5 we can copy down here. 3 1 ja 3, 2. So you got here 11 whole 2 upon 3, which is the required answer of this. So in the topic of multiplication of fraction, we completely discussed about fraction multiplied by a whole number. Now we will start fraction multiplied by a fraction. So let us start how we can multiply a fraction by a fraction. So children, fraction multiply by a fraction. Here we will learn how we can multiply a fraction by a fraction. We can take an example. 2 whole 1 upon 3 and 2 by 3. Here you can see this is a mixed fraction and this is a proper fraction. So firstly convert it into improper. 3 2 just 6 and 7 upon 3 multiplied by 2 by 7. So as I told, numerator has to be multiplied by numerator and denominator has to be multiplied by denominator. So its numerator 7, 7 2 ja 14, 3 5 ja 15. So its answer. Another example, 2 whole 1 upon 3 multiplied by 3 whole 1 upon 4. So convert it into improper. 3 2 just 6, 7 upon 3, 13 upon 4, 91, 12. So you got the answer of this topic. Now 91 divided by 12. $84. So 7 whole 4 upon 12 is the required answer of this topic. Another thing we can start here. When we have a proper fraction and it has to be multiplied by a mixed fraction, so it will become 3 upon 5 multiplied by 3 1 3 and 4 upon 3, 12 upon 15, which is a proper, so it will be the required answer. So we completely discussed about the topic of multiplication of fraction. There were two cases: fraction multiplied by a whole number and fraction multiplied by a fraction. So we completely discussed about how we can multiply a fraction by a whole number, and we also discussed about how we can multiply a fraction by a fraction. So now there's the time to start the assignment. Now I am giving you the assignment to do the practice. In this assignment, you have to multiply the following. So multiply the following: 3 whole 1 upon 5 multiplied by 2 whole 1 upon 6. Second, 4 whole 1 upon 3 multiplied by 2 whole 1 upon 5. Third, 1 whole 1 upon 2 multiplied by 5 by 2. Fourth, 2 by 5 multiplied by 1 whole 1 upon 6. Fifth, 1 by 7 multiplied by 2 whole 1 upon 8. Sixth, 8 whole 1 upon 3 multiplied by 2 whole 1 upon 4. This much assignment you can do as a practice. So this was the discussion, complete discussion about the multiplication of the fraction. Now children, as the homework, you may also solve your exercise number 2.2 of book. In your fair copy. Children, it must be noticed that these all the things you have to do in your homework copy, and this thing you have to do in your fair copy. Thank you.